Hi everyone. Hello, 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 hello. So hope you have your coffee. I apologize for a little bit of a delay. I was supposed to be here 5 minutes ago, but anyway, here we are. So cheers with coffee for anyone who is holding a cup of coffee. And let me just make sure I see the comments, and then we can start our coffee conversation. Those Tuesday lives are kind of taking a bit of a different turn, I guess, now with the times that we live in, the challenges that we're facing. I'm sharing more thoughts, um, thoughts, and different experiences and my suggestions on how we can cope and how we can stay high vibe regardless of what's happening around us. So just give me one sec, and I don't know why I'm not seeing the comments, but if you are here live, just give me one sec. Okay, come on now. Okay then, here we go. All right, so first thing first. First thing first. Hello there. Hello, hello, hello. So first thing first is coffee. If you have a coffee in your hand, let me know, for all my coffee lovers. Okay, so first thing I want to say is that in times like this, we it's not something that we prepare for. It's not something that we know how to cope with. So it's okay. It's absolutely okay to feel not okay. It's okay to feel all the feels, to allow yourself to just be scared. And I speak about this often. Allow yourself to be scared. Allow yourself to feel frustrated. It's okay. It's okay to feel of those things. These are the times of survival. And yes, there is a lot of suggestions of go within and, this is time to get clear. And I totally believe that. However, if you haven't figured it all out and you don't have all the clarity of your life and you don't have all those things like some spiritual awakening, it's okay too. This is the stage of survival. This is not necessarily a stage of growth. The stage of growth is going to happen later on. So I'll have an experience of when I was 15. I was in Israel and we experienced a Gulf War, and it was the first time when we actually the civilians were part of the actual war, and because the rockets were falling in residential areas, in fact, quite close to where we're living in the north of Israel. And the reason I'm telling you this, whenever there is a crisis, whether it's personal or global crisis, and of course something like this has never happened before, but the reason I'm sharing with you my Gulf War experience is because it's something that we have that I have personal experience with. So at that time, it's not so much, like, for example, divorce, like a personal crisis when you go through. So it's not the time necessarily when you're going to feel all the growth and all the spiritual awakening. This is a time of survival when yes, you get quiet. Yes, you reach for, connection, do whatever you need to do to survive that stage. After that stage, that will be the time for reflection, for growth, and then you will understand how much you've grown, the challenges that make us stronger, and you realize it after. At the moment, it's not necessarily the time to expect this incredible spiritual awakening. Reach out and do things that make you feel good, whatever you can do to go through the stage of survival, whether it's dancing. Reach out to all those things, that all those fitness and dance classes that are available online now. Reach out to a friend, find a group that you feel connected with, or find yourself maybe a coach if you need some a bit more personal attention, which is absolutely, all of it is good and all of it is fine and all of it is good to go. Do things that they make you feel good, that you can go through this. So if I remember because we are all on some sort of adrenaline, if we can, we're kind of taking every day, one day at a time. So if I can remember the things that have helped me to go through the stage of survival, were At the time, I didn't know journaling and meditation, so I would definitely include journaling and meditation now, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm definitely journaling every day, and I definitely spend time in meditation. I've been doing it for quite a long time, but more so intentional, more so maybe longer, maybe twice a day. See what you can fit in. And yes, we have more time on our hands, which I will address in a minute. The impact of that, having more time, maybe less time, more time, whatever. Anyway, but different schedules. So the things that were helping me in times of global and personal crisis, definitely connection, definitely human connection, whether it's personal, whether it's online, whether it's reaching out to a friend. And like now, I don't know why we never thought of before, but I see more and more people from around the world get together on Zoom and connect. And it's not like we were necessarily together before, but now it's like that awareness of like, oh my God, we can actually connect with friends that we don't usually see and kind of see them. So this more popular, like I even, I'm trying to get my classmates back from Ukraine, get on Zoom and connect together. So all of those ideas, but reach out, connect. Dance is definitely one of those things that helps. And, be easy on yourself, understand that you're at the stage of where things are tough, things are challenging, things are not what we know them as. So it's completely different world right now that we're facing. So do whatever you need to do to go through the survival stage. If I could tell myself, younger self, other things that I would implement, I would definitely say journaling and meditation to be part of them, but have fun with it. So now the next thing is that I wanted to share is that for stay-at-home parents that for many of us, for example, many of us are familiar with working from home, and this is not new. Many other ones that coming from normal 9 to 5 jobs and working at home now, and that's a very different one. So many of us, many are not working potentially, but with that work at home comes the children of different ages. Comes the husbands that also working together, or wives or partners, and whoever you share your household with. So especially the ones, I want to address the ones with parents and children. There's a reason why there are different different divisions. Like there is a working parent, there is a stay-at-home parent, there is a part-time parents. Those are different jobs. There's teachers. Those are completely different jobs, and all of them need certain qualifications, experience, and ability to perform. Now we are in a situation where we do all of those things in the same time, and that is pretty much impossible. So we all need to be kinder to ourselves and understand that this is not the time that we even know how to deal with. So with the children, the only thing I would say, real life experiences and joy at home and good vibes mean way more than academic marks or their success in academic studies. So, choose joy over fighting over the things that are not helping with. Choose a game over their academic assignment if they happen to have academic assignments at this time. Choose connection. Choose family time. Yes, it could be annoying. Yes, it could be frustrating. Yes, it could be everybody's in their space all the time. But remember, the joy and feeling good is way more important that worrying about thank you, that worrying about how well they're performing and kind of how quickly they're progressing in the projects and how they can do in their math or their English or French studies or whatever it may be. So be easy. And children learn so much better, and they're better off in life skills that they learn from everyday tasks, things that actually going to help them in life way more. So just be easy on yourself, be easy on your children, be easy on everybody around you, and yeah, always reach out for joy and connection, which is way more pleasant than arguments and fighting and stressing. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to share was that right now we kind of have this, so to speak, more time, not because necessarily, for those who work from home, maybe it's not much different. In fact, it comes with other challenges of having children and partners and parents and whatnot. But we have our calendars are kind of, other than maybe work commitments, are empty. We don't have to drive anywhere. We don't have to be at any place by a certain time, which creates a whole other kind of like fluidity, but not necessarily known or something that we know how to cope with. I really enjoyed a newsletter from Mark Manson that was sent this Monday. He's the author of the book, The Art of, escaping me now, but I will put it in the comments. It's a great book, and he's a really really great author, and just I love the way he writes. Anyway, I digress. It's not so much about markets, but he was sharing in his newsletter the fact that this lack of kind of schedules, a specific schedule, creates a kind of different routine or lack of routine, which I totally could relate to. So we, for example, I don't know how about you, but we go to bed much later than usual. Our meals are like, all different times of the day. They wake up is like, oh great, I love not having to wake up by alarm clock, but at the same time it kind of creates the whole day is like all over the place, which also kind of like, well, I can do this now, but I can do this tomorrow, and I can do all those things like at a different times, which not necessarily need to be completed by a certain task, by a certain time. This is kind of great, but also could be somewhat dangerous, because that lack of accountability towards something is something that could be, not so. It kind of, we can get lost in this. So Mark in his newsletter is suggesting something called social accountability. So yes, I'm totally with that. So when you commit to something, whether it's a group of people and I'm not talking about work commitment, but commitments that we absolutely, for those that have to complete them, then it's there. But for those that there are known businesses, like or have projects that we're working on, or maybe some personal project that we're now pursuing or taking a chance to pursue, use something that calls social accountability. So tell someone that what are you working on, what do you want to complete on. So that will create some kind of social accountability, which is really something that's really important for us as humans, and something that really helps us to complete certain tasks at certain day, by certain day and time. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was, okay, from the perspective of energy and the law of attraction. Just give me a sec. We know that what we focus on expands. So whenever there is a fight on something, a war on something, war against something, then we create more of that. Now, how do we cope with that kind of statement when we are in a place where the coronavirus is there, the COVID-19 is everywhere, we talk about this, we see it everywhere, we exposed to this all the time. So the more we focus on, the more we talk about, the more we think about, expands. But how do we then take our personal responsibility in our role in not expanding that, but actually reducing that? Because I think that essentially everyone is have the same kind of prayer at this time. But even when we say we want this to be over, we want COVID-19 to be over, we want the virus to be over, we're still focusing on COVID-19. We're still on the subject of the virus. So what do? How do we take ourselves out of this, and how do we not make more of that? So one way is to be very discerning of who you listen to and how much you listen to, on which channels do you subscribe to, and how much of your time do you spend on that. That's one. But more important than that, I would say visualize. Everybody has the gift. We are given this gift of imagination. We can imagine. Nobody can take it away from us ever. We can imagine, we can visualize, we can create. Now it could be that you can, you can spend just a little bit of time doing that, but the more you practice that, the more you visualize it, the more you go to the dreamland, the better you're going to get at this. The more time within your day you're going to spend in your dreamland. And I invite you to go to your dreamland, daydream, go to that dreamland as often as you can. It doesn't matter that at the moment it seems like nothing changes and everything is the same, or maybe getting worse, but you can still go to your dreamland. The more time you're going to go to your dreamland, the more times in a day you're going to do that. Play games on visualizations. Get creative around that. The more time you can spend in that dreamland, the more time you can spend on visualizing and creating the future. A friend of mine is now doing virtual travel tours, which is like amazing, and must remember to share this in the comments here as well. You can subscribe to her newsletter, and she's inviting every week. She's doing virtual travel tours to different parts of the world. We can still create, we can still imagine, we can still travel. Yes, it is not possible to book travel right now. Oh, well, possible, but nobody really probably doing this. Yes, it is not, we're not traveling at the moment, but we can still do it in our mind. Nobody's stopping us from doing that. So go to your dreamland. Think of your dreams. Think what is it that you want to create. And yes, I opened the doors to the Vision Board Cafe, which is the Vision Board Cafe, where we drink coffee and make vision boards, and it's all digital. So you don't need magazines, you don't need printer even. You can print if you wanted to, but you don't need all of those things. You can create it just having a device. It doesn't even have to be a computer, but really computer, laptop, or phone. I think if you have any of those, you can build a vision board. And I teach all of the stuff in that Vision Board Cafe. By Vision Board Cafe, no Vision Board Cafe. Just create, do whatever you can to go to your dreamland, to play games with your loved ones, talk about dreams over dinner, on your own. Use it in your meditation before you go to bed. The last things before you go to bed be thoughts of where are you going. Imagine that dream space. Go there, feel it as if you know. And really important point here on visualization. When you visualize in, allow yourself to get really excited and feel it before your brain goes like, well, you're not having it, or this is not your reality right now. The logical brain will kick in, but the more you practice of staying in that feeling of like, how does it feel being there, even if it's just for a few minutes, even if it's just for a few seconds. But the more you practice it, the better you're going to get at this. And go, like, before you go to bed, close your eyes, go to that dreamland, go to your dream space, and get excited, get feeling, go to bed with that thought. You're going to wake up in much better mood, because we wake up with what we go to bed with and the thoughts that we go to bed with. And I get it. I'm not downplaying on what's happening right now. This is what we're experiencing right now in our reality, because that's what we're looking at. But if we want to create a different reality, we got to look away from something that we don't like. And I'm not saying look away completely, because it's impossible, and I get it. But the more time you can spend in dreaming, the more time you can spend in visualizing and creating your own reality, the better the current reality is going to look like. So on that, that's it. If you have any comments and you're with me, please share it with them. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee, and there's anything else I wanted to mention. Okay, that's it then. So I don't see any other comments right now, but I will post things in the comments, the ones that I've mentioned on the travel, on the, what was the other thing? Oh, Mark Manson's book. And today's the last day to get 20% off my Vision Board Cafe, so I will post those links in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day. Go to your dreamland, create, imagine, visualize, and stay well and safe. Lots of love to you all. Ciao for now. Bye.